morning. We're going to make some apple fritters. I'm going to wash my hands and we'll get started. So get you a drink, a warm drink, a cold drink, and join me. Maybe over here so you can see what I'm doing. First, I'm going to cut up some apples. Using my handy dandy cutting tool. Hopefully you can see me okay. There. Just place it on your apple. I can move it over there a little bit. I just try to center my apple and shove down. And then, of course, I'm going to peel them. Got my little handy little container here this morning. I hope everybody's doing good this morning. It feels like spring outside. And this calls for about 2 cups of apples. So I'm going to try and get approximately 2 cups. I'm just going to chunk them up. My husband said, can you make the chunks pretty good size? So we'll try and make them pretty good size. And I have already washed these apples. And these are a Honey Crisp that I'm using this morning. And I'm chunking them up about like so. Good morning if you're just coming in. We're making some apple fritters this morning. Having some coffee and making some apple fritters. Enjoying this weather. It's supposed to start raining here today and rain for about 3 days. I tried to get everything pretty well ready except for the apples. And it calls for 2 cups. I'm going to try and do about 3 apples. And they're about a medium-sized apple. They're not very big. Good morning. How are you this morning? We're making apple fritters. And I'm just chunking up some apples right now. I'm trying to make them pretty good sized pieces because my husband requested large pieces of apples. So we'll see how that goes. And I am going to cook these a little bit. I'm going to try it both ways. But today, I'm going to try just cooking them up a little bit to soften the apples a little bit. Now this is my first attempt in my new frying pans that I got. So we'll see how they work today. And I'm just using some medium-sized apples. And it calls for 2 cups, so I'm chunking them up. And I'm using my little apple core. Makes it very fast and very easy. It's starting to feel like spring outdoors and smell like spring. And I was going to make apple fritters a few days ago, and I just have this silly cold, and I just cannot seem to get over it. And then I'll have days like today where I feel good, and then it just seems to come right back. I'll be so glad when we can get outdoors and enjoy some nice weather. 2 cups is probably going to be about 2 apples. And this recipe calls for 2 cups. And I'm not really sure where I got this recipe from. It may have been from my sister, or it may have been from watching someone on YouTube. I'm not sure. I don't recall. It's been a while. I get a lot of my recipes from my sister. She's an amazing, amazing cook. Before I forget, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Okay, just in case. I don't want it beeping and tweeting while we're on here, because we might be on here a little bit this morning. Again, I'm just cutting up some apples. I may not need that third one, because this recipe calls for 2 cups. And I wasn't quite sure how many apples I would need. It depends on your size of your apples. I just love this little apple core. It's fast and easy. Okay, there we go. That is 2 cups. And this is a Pioneer Woman brand apple core. Very, very nice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side. Okay, I'm going to move you just a little bit closer. So I can get around everything here. There. I hope you can see everything there that I'm doing. And I'm going to use stainless steel frying pan this morning. And for cooking the apples, this is my apple fritter recipe. I'll go over the ingredients here in a little bit. And then this also has the glaze and then the cooking apples. So I'm going to cook these apples just a little bit. And I need, we'll put these apples in a small bowl. And then I have lemon juice. I have 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice, and I'm just going to pour that over the apples. And I'm just going to give them a little bit of a stir, just enough to keep them from turning. While my frying pan is heating up. Then I have 2 tablespoons of butter at room temperature. And I'm just going to let that melt. And I've only used the new cookware a few times, so we'll see how this cookware does with this one. And I'm just going to let that melt a little bit. I'm going to stir my apples again because I don't want these to turn on me. So I'm just kind of tossing them around. I don't want to overwork them. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add my apples along with the lemon juice. And then I want 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I want 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. I love homemade cooking. Well, good morning. I'm glad. I think it's amazing to just be able to go in the kitchen and create something delicious. So, right now, all I'm doing is I'm going to let these cook for 8 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put my timer on. And I want this to cook down. And I want these apples to soften, but not overcook. Maybe a little bit closer there so you can see. I hope you can see that okay. Good luck. Good morning. I love what you're doing. Well, thank you. And I'm just letting these slowly cook, and all this liquid will evaporate. And whenever all this liquid evaporates, it'll be about 8 minutes. And then we'll take these apples off of here, and then we'll move to the next step. My husband absolutely loves apple fritters. It's one of his favorite things. So we're going to do some apple fritters. Now I have this between a low and a medium heat. I don't have this very high. And I'm just letting this slowly cook off of here. Now, I've tried it both ways, with the raw apple and with the cooked apple. And my husband could not remember which one he liked better. So we're going to go ahead and start this bunch off with the cooked apple. I hope everybody is having good weather where you're at. I am so ready for spring. Now I kind of want to watch over these because I don't want them to scorch. Let's see if I can get that up there where you can see that. I just want this liquid to evaporate off. I'm just kind of turning them a little bit. I don't want to overcook them. But I want all that liquid to evaporate. Yeah, it's too cold. I know here it's raining today, and it's calling for rain for like 3 days, today and the next 2 days. So it's going to be damp and rainy. And I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make some apple fritters today. And everyone's enjoying my recipes. My daughter loves to be in the kitchen, but she gets overwhelmed. So she does really, really well if you're there with her. So that's the reason I started doing some recipes on my channel. Because that way she can just pull up a recipe and it's like she's there with her mom. And she can just follow along. And hopefully that way she won't get overwhelmed. Because normally if I'm not there, we're doing a video chat, live chat, so that I can take her through step by step, because she does live in another state. So this makes it so much nicer for her. I think it's really nice outside. We're going to have 60s, I believe, today. High 50s, 60s, but rain. And now that liquid is starting to evaporate. Oh, that smells so good. I wish you could smell this. The cinnamon and vanilla and apples. Oh, it smells so good. Now, as you can see, that liquid is thickening up, and it's almost evaporated. This light does not do very good in here. Let me see if I can add a little more lighting. We're remodeling, and my husband has some of the lighting down in the kitchen because he's getting ready to put recessed lighting in. So we have half of the kitchen remodeled, and then we held for the holidays and the cold weather, and we're getting ready to now complete the other half of the kitchen. He did make me a beautiful island. Okay. And it usually takes approximately 8 minutes to evaporate all of this liquid, depending on your heat setting. You don't want it too high. So mine is between a simmer, a low simmer, and a medium. Those are such pretty apples. And I made big chunks for my husband because he wanted big chunks. Now almost all of that liquid is completely gone. So I'm going to let it continue for a little bit. The apples are going to start to sizzle just a little bit. And I don't want to overcook them, but I want them to get all of that goodness, all that juice absorbed into the apples. Oh, that just absolutely smells amazing. Absolutely amazing. Apples and cinnamon and vanilla. Okay, and it has been 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. You can hear those apples starting to sizzle. And as you can see, all the liquid is now out. So I'm going to move you back over. And I'm just going to take a plate. And I'm just going to put those apples out on a plate. And as you can see, all that yummy goodness is all cooked into the apples now. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to move this over. So there is all of my apples. And I'm going to kind of spread them out, and I'm going to let these start cooling a little bit. Oh, they smell so good. So I'm going to set that to the side. And now I'm going to start on my dry ingredients first. And again, I cannot remember if I got the recipe from my sister or on YouTube, and then just kind of tweaked it till it was something I liked. I cannot remember. I'll have to try and go back and see where I actually got the recipe. So I'm going to put 2 cups of all-purpose flour, in my bowl. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar. And that's just granulated sugar. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And this is just regular granulated salt. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. It doesn't take a lot of nutmeg, just a little bit. And then I'm going to stir this up really good. And just combine all of this really good. Oh, that smells so good. My kitchen is beginning to smell like a bakery. Oops, and I just got flour everywhere. I am a messy cook. Okay, and I just wanted to get all that combined really good. That's all of my dry ingredients. And I'm probably going to have flour all over me, but it'll be all right. Now, I'm going to, in a separate bowl, I'm going to mix up my wet ingredients. I have 2 eggs at room temperature. And I'm going to turn this skillet on. I'm going to let it start heating up. And this just has vegetable oil in it. Okay. And then I need 2/3 cup of milk. And this is whole milk. And then I need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now I'm going to take these apples and I'm just going to scatter a little bit of granulated sugar right over top of these apples as they're cooling here. And I'm just going to let that sugar soak right into those apples. Just going to mix it all around and just let that sugar just soak right up in those apples. Just in case they're just a little bit tart, because I don't want them too sweet, but I don't want them too tart. Okay, now I'm going to mix up all of my wet ingredients, blend it all together. And there's all of my wet ingredients. And I'm just going to add that right to my dry ingredients. And then I'm just going to stir it all up and blend it until it's nice and blended. This gives my skillet, my cast iron, time to heat up. And this makes such a pretty dough. At first it's going to seem like it's too dry, but it is not going to be too dry. As you can see, that's blending in very well. You can start to see the texture of my dough. Now I'm going to add my apples into my dough. I wish you could smell this. This smells so good. And those apples put just a little bit more moisture back into your dough. And you can see the moisture difference that the apples made in my dough. It's dropping a little easier. And I'm going to be dropping these using a large ice cream scoop. This is a three tablespoons. My grease is getting hot. Boy, I'm messy. Messy, messy. And I've got just a dinner plate lined in a paper towel. And I have a cookie sheet lined in a paper towel with a warming rack. Okay, I think we're getting warm enough. I'm going to go ahead and stir this up again real good. Get everything blended. I hope everybody's getting ready for spring. I'm ready for spring. I'm going to give that just a few more minutes. Let me see what my temperature is up to. Okay, I think we're doing good here. So I'm going to put my first fritters in using my ice cream scoop. And you can see how nice and smooth that batter is now. And I'm just going to take it by a scoop. And I'm going to drop it in. I'm going to do 4 at a time in this skillet. So make sure they're not sticking. And I'm going to do them about 3 minutes on each side. Get you a little closer there so you can see. I don't want them over brown. And this depends on your heat temperature. It may not take quite 3 minutes on each side. It could be 2 to 3 minutes depending on your heat. I don't want them overdone. Those are looking good. Looking very good. So I'm going to turn them over. Move them around a little bit because I don't want them to stick. And I'm going to start my timer again. Hopefully you can see how nice those look, and oh, they smell so good. I want them about 3 minutes on each side because I don't want them really overdone, but I want them done in the middle. Those look so good. I heard my pop. I wanted to make sure he was okay. Okay. Take these out, and I'm going to put them on a towel to drain. Don't those look amazing? And then I will start my next batch. Stir this up a little bit. Again, I'm using about 3 tablespoons. I'm trying to flatten them out a little bit so they're not too thick. I'm going to move them around a little bit so they don't stick. And I'm going to set this for 3 minutes. And here is my first bunch of fritters. We'll move it back a little bit. And I'm just going to transfer those right onto my cookie sheet. With my rack. And I'm just basically moving these around a little bit, just making sure they're not sticking. Those were so pretty. Cast iron holds a good bit of heat, so I'm kind of checking. I don't want them to be overdone. Oh, those look so good. They smell delicious. I should get about 10 fritters. Now, if I would have made them larger, of course, I would have had less fritters. I hope you can see that. Those look absolutely delicious. I'm going to set this timer for 2 minutes because I've had them over for a little bit and my skillet's getting warmer as it's heating up. Of course, this is cast iron. So I'll keep them moving a little bit so they're not sticking. Oh, those are great. Just checking on my Maltese puppy. Okay, I think these are going to be absolutely delicious. Sorry, I had to walk off there for a minute. Okay. Absolutely scrumptious. See those big chunks of apples. And then I'll go ahead and get the rest of my dough in. I think I'm going to get approximately 10. Yeah, we got 10. Yeah, I'll go ahead and move these over. Oh, those look so good. Just look at those big apple chunks. Let's see if I can't make enough room for 2 more. I think we can do it. Move those around so they're not sticking. These other 2 are a little bigger. But I'm going to go ahead and set that for about 2 minutes and just kind of check it as I go. Because cast iron does tend to get a little warmer as it heats up. I'm going to go ahead and turn that. Just because it's cast iron and it's really starting to heat up, and I do not want them to burn. So, if you're just coming in, we're making apple fritters. And boy, do they look delicious. I hope that you can see how yummy those look. And I'm just going to kind of keep flipping these a little bit, checking them. I think you can do just a little bit more on that side. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my skillet off because cast iron does hold heat. And I'm going to have a little drink of coffee here while I'm waiting. Oh, this smells so good. Give them just a few more minutes, and then we're going to pull the last two out. I'm just letting that skillet kind of cool down a little bit. And it is still sizzling, as you can see. Cast iron does hold heat. Okay, we're going to pull those out. And there's our last two apple fritters. So let me get those on the cooling rack. Boy, those look so good. There's big chunks of apple. See if I can move these a little bit more. There we go. And then I will also icing them on this rack. Wow, those look so good. Fresh apple fritters. I have another one I can move to the center, maybe. Put a couple smaller ones in the center, kind of give them some space so when I put icing on, I'll have a little bit of space in between. nice and spaced. See if I can't get some water in my mixing bowl here. Gather up some of my apple peelings and cores. Give me just 1 second to get this one ready. And now we're going to make the icing. Go ahead and turn that off. And this is just powdered sugar. So this is our glaze. So our glaze needs 2 cups of powdered sugar. Well, I should have used a bigger bowl, but it'll be all right. Because this will definitely go down quick when you mix it up. And I need 2 tablespoons of milk, which I already have mixed up here, or measured out here. And I need 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Or sorry, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm just going to mix this up. And it does mix up very quickly. It doesn't take a lot of liquid. Definitely should have used a bigger bowl. Yeah, let me get a bigger bowl. See if we can't just... There we go. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Just to make it the texture that I like for a glaze. Want it just a little bit thinner, not much. Now this depends on how you like your frosting, your glaze. You may like yours a little bit thicker than mine. You may like it a little bit thinner. It's on your own preference. A little bit more. I kind of want mine just almost like a stringy icing frosting. And I want it to be smooth. About like so. Now I want to wait till those fritters are cool. Now this is about the consistency that I'm looking for. Now you may want a little thinner, you may want it a little thicker. Again, it's your preference. Okay, those are cooling down, so I think we'll be good. I'll bring this over here. And then we're just going to put some icing on there. I don't want them too cool, but I don't want them hot. And I'm just going to put this on and just kind of let it run. This depends on how much icing you want on your fritters. I'm just kind of smearing that around a little bit, letting it run. And there is our apple fritters. And I'll break one open here so you can see the center. Oh, just look at that goodness. And look at those big chunks of apple. And yes, I'm still melting. There's a big chunk of apple right there. Oh, don't those look delicious? I'm going to let those cool just a little bit. I just want you to see what they look like. Oh, the kitchen smells like a bakery. Oh, it smells so good. Absolutely smells amazing in here. So there is our apple fritters, all glazed. So, I hope that was informative. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to have a kitchen cleanup. And then I will get on with some more things throughout my day. But before I do go, I'd like to share something with you. Let me turn this around here if I can. This is my beautiful little spring corner. These are my starter plants. This was a 3 starter kit of vegetable, 3 starter kits of herbs. This is my cucumbers, my beef tomatoes, my cherry tomatoes, and if you look really, really close, you might see a chive right about there and there. And then this is my parsley, and this is my basil. And they are beautiful. And there's some little lilies, or sorry, tulips. I keep wanting to call them lilies. Tulips, a beautiful orchid. And then these are the tulips in the jar. You can see there's a, let me see if I can turn it around. You can see the bulbs and water and the root system. And I've got red, and I have red trimmed in white. So this is my little spring corner. I thought I would share that with you. So that's what I'm doing today. And as you can see, I'm going to need to do a kitchen cleanup now. And then I will get started with the rest of my day. So I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, don't be afraid to try new things in the kitchen. It's always fun to learn how to do new things and learn new things. Baking and cooking is always a lot of fun. So don't be afraid to try new things. So if you stopped in this morning and you joined me, I just want to tell you thank you. If you liked my video, please like and subscribe. Again, I'm just new at all of this, putting recipes and things on YouTube, but I'm learning, so thank you for your patience. And here are our beautiful apple fritters. And oh, I wish you could smell this. Oh my goodness, it smells like a bakery. Scrumptious. So, till next time, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here for the day, get my kitchen cleaned up. Again, I want to thank you for stopping in. I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed this video. So, until next time, don't be afraid to try new things in the kitchen. It's fun. And always, always be kind to one another. We need to see more of that. So, till next time, bye-bye. Have an absolutely wonderful Tuesday. See you next time. Bye-bye.